don't know if you guys can read that, but it says add bearings, make it 11 to 1 or 10 to 1. Smooth out the entire reel, and make the spool fast. All right, guys. Welcome back. We are going to be breaking down the Ultracast, and the video beforehand, well, the unboxing, fishing, testing it out, figuring out what I wanted to change about it. This is for a customer, to give him my personal setup and how I felt would work to throw lighter lures. So, of course, what we did thus this far was take out some magnets. And as you can see, I went 3 heavy on the back, 2 light ones to the front, made it a little smoother. But we're now going to dive even further, and we're going to adjust some bearings and some bushings. And then after that, I'm going to go and test it out again. And see how it does. I don't know exactly how low of a cast he's aiming for, but with me, I usually try to go to 1 gram. If I can go below, that's even better. With my bait finesse reels, and this is an Ultracast, so we're going to make this an Ultracast. I know with all of those magnets in there, the resistance was really strong, and I don't want a lot of resistance. And then one other thing, I'm just going to throw some tape on this spool, guys, while I'm setting up. I'm just going to use some painter's tape just to keep it in place. All right, put a little piece of painter's tape on there. Very first thing we're going to mess with is the bearings in here. What you're going to need is the Amo fishing reel spool repair kit and the Weera screwdriver kit. The bearings in this, I want to say, is 1150 and 1030. 1150 is the spool, 1030 is the side plate. And the good thing about having this kit is it has all this stuff in it, but I did go against using this. I like what the SLP offers. Just make sure you don't lose that little guy. That's the first bearing. This bearing is the 1030. Just trying to catch to the magnets. I'll make sure I stick his bearings back in his box. Also, one other thing, I usually take this out, that little, can't think of the name of it, but it adds friction as well. I take it out sometimes, and sometimes I don't. All depends on the distance I want in between the spool and how much resistance I want as well. Give me a split second, be right back. is the bearing remover that I was talking about. You should have. And that is good to use. I haven't used this thing in a while. I haven't actually been doing any real maintenance. Long story short, I got a nice house and need to work on that. All right, so it's kind of locked in there. You're gonna want to twist. And it's not hurting the spool. And eventually that pin will pop out. Get that aligned up in that hole and it'll push the pin right out. Yep. Now you don't want to lose that pin. Right, got both bearings out. Got the kit here. Here's the set. He decided to go with the blue. I myself, when I do mine, I'm going to go with the purple. But I want to check how fast these bearings spin before I install them. And the reason being is, for me, and I've been watching a couple of other YouTubers, and one particular person stood out, I forgot his name. He's a Japanese guy. He speaks English as well. And he said that fast spinning bearings don't mean anything, which that could possibly be true to him. But for me, the faster the bearing, the less I have to put or less effort I have to do with casting. And these bearings right now are not as fast as I would like them. So I'm going to make them faster. I'm going to flush the bearings real quick. Usually some people leave them in for 24 hours and some people leave them in a little longer. Me, myself, I am going to shake them up in some acetone real quick, just to speed the process up. And it'll be like 10 minutes. So Alright, so while it's sitting, guys, I'm gonna put the spool and its original bearings off to the side, and we're gonna work on the other bearings or the bushings. And we're going to start with the knobs. It's good to use this to avoid scratching it. I have this exact same reel, so I'm going to take the one off of mine and put it on his so it doesn't get scratched. I don't mind a scratch because I'm actually going to change my knobs as well. I'm going to change my knobs, so I'm going to give him mine off of my reel. Phillips head screwdriver for the screw down in there, or a flathead. The ammo kit comes with the flip screwdriver. There's one bushing. The other one may be a bearing. Yep, it's a bearing, but I'm going to give him some good bearings. Okay, double bearings. Okay, gotta do the other side. Give him the good one, because I scratched mine up. Okay, that's the double bearing side, non-double bearing. All right, gonna drop the bearings in. With these knobs, you have to put the bearing inside and then the screw. Sorry, I keep going off screen. I have to literally look down in there to make sure that it's being done correctly. Re-putting the cap on, and that is set. Okay, now that we got that out the way, that noise that you guys are hearing is just me shaking those bearings. So what we're going to do now is we're going to put in his pins, just replacing colors. Actually, we'll start by taking this off because this thing is really hard to take off and not lose. There's a tool that looks like a double screwdriver. It's a screwdriver head, and it has two, what's the names on it? But the trick that I use is I put a little bit of grease on there, and that little bit of grease just makes it so that it comes off and not fly away from you. Creates just a little friction. Vaseline's a really good choice to stick on there. You just want to dab it on. Just enough to cover it so that when it pops off, it doesn't go flying. And I'm gonna pull this to me versus trying to show y'all how it's done, just so that I make sure that I can get it. In the Weaver kit, there's a small flathead that'll work too. The smallest flathead should slide in the gap. See, popped off, didn't go flying. The grease kind of held it in place. Okay, that's off. But what we're going to want to do is take all of this off on this side to get that to fall out. The only reason why I did this first is because I knew it was going to be a pain. That small flathead will work to get that off. There's a little screw right there. Abu just has to be different. Why can't they just be like the rest and not have so many screws? We've got 2 screws so far. The small flathead is working. I also need to take this off. And I guess what I'm gonna do is move all of this stuff out of the way now that we're not using, and just keep all the stuff that I am using. Okay. Just slide it back so that I get more space to work with. So the next size up in the Weaver kit, we'll get those screws out of there. And I'm not trying to mess up my thin. So we're gonna go with a little more muscle. And because we're changing the colors, I won't worry about putting this one back on because we will be putting on a new color. Thought I would be done with this kit, but I'm not. Now to avoid scratching this up, make sure you find the right size. Remember, there's a washer under there. I usually leave it all together so I don't lose it. Going to twist this up. Try to keep it together if you can. If you need to take it apart, where it comes apart in pieces, remember to video record it, or at least take pictures. So that's the clicking mechanism. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull all of the washers and everything up all together. And try to keep them together. And then there's another small washer. I'm gonna lay that there, but I'm gonna put all of this on top of that. To make sure that they all stay together. Okay, so it ain't that many screws. Forgot about that screw in here. That screw is gonna, like a key mechanism that slides in, that keeps it in place. Just making sure there's no other screws. The screwdriver I'm using is the Weaver 2.0. If you have this kit and you want to do it. Now, this is going to come out. And when that comes out, the whole thing will come loose. I should take a piece of tape and peel that back, make it easier on me. Oh, okay, there we go. Yeah, so it's holding up against the gears to keep this from sliding off. But once you do that, this whole side plate should come up. I'm gonna move all of this stuff out of the way real fast. This whole gearbox has to come up as well to get to that bar. And want to keep all of that together. That is the clicking mechanism. The washer and clog and all that is on that side. Then you're going to want to pull the pinion and all that good stuff up. They really grease down everything. I'm not mad at them. I used to hate the grease, but now I respect it. Okay, so this screw needs to come off, and that's going to pull the front end up. And that will make this accessible. Since you took off this side, it does go in place. You can get behind it. That little metal washer, don't want to get it caught in between where the C-clamp goes. There you have it. And then this, now these pins will come out. Which is odd, they don't have C-clamps on them, being that it feels like it should. Now the reason why I'm pulling this off is because there is a bushing in there. It's the worm shaft bushing. We're going to take that out of there and put a bearing in, and we're going to twist this front end off. Now, because we're going to change the color of that as well, probably should have did that first, but there we go. Because that one will not be going back on there. What I'm trying to do is make it so I don't lose this little piece right here, but I want to pluck it out. Don't want to lose that little washer, because that little washer there, even that it's being really thin, can make things not work if it's not in there. Trying to make that metal thing fall out. That little pin, you don't want to lose that either, but you could pull that out. Keep it on the grease. There goes the bushing. But because we're changing that bushing out and we're changing that wind shaft to a different color, we gotta get this thing to cooperate and fall out of there. I left my magnet puller at home. Speaking of magnet puller, I literally probably could just use this bad boy, because it's collecting all the metal. Kind of find out that is not even metal. Okay, got the whole thing out. Got the bushing out. This thing should slide off now with ease. I say with ease, and it doesn't slide off with ease. Oh. I don't think that affects anything, but I'm gonna take it out of there. It did. Oh, that did. Okay. All right. So, pulling that, and we're gonna add the blue. You want that concave to go in there. That looks good already. All right, all right. I want to get this back on first. All right. Get his cap on the front. I'm not going to tighten it down just yet. Looks good, looks good. Not gonna tighten it down just yet. Now usually the bushing and the bearing are the same size as the handle knob bearings, but in this case it's not. All right, we got that worm shaft bearing installed. I'm gonna put that gear and that pin back in place. Put a little grease on it so it don't slide around. And then we're gonna put it back in the slot. And there we have it. It's back in the slot. We're gonna keep the pressure on it so that we can get these back on and get that in place. This is always the hardest, putting this thing back on. Putting it on and taking it off is always the hardest. Hoping that that grease makes things easier. I'm gonna use the back side of the tweezers and push it back on. All right, pop back on pretty easy. Thought it was gonna take a long time. Okay, so these two, we're gonna change the colors to blue. The thin one and then the thick one. I pulled the purple one out, that's mine. Yeah, you would think that those little grooves things right there would have what's the names on them, but they don't. Okay. So we're gonna put the big one in and align it, and that's gonna keep that on track. We're gonna put the other one in the back. And what that does is it keeps the reel from flexing. So that's the two. Now, just a little, just to keep it in place. We're gonna put back. Oh, that's cool, because this one you don't have to take the whole thing off the front to get to that piece there. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. It's been a long time, guys. All right, that'll keep everything in place so that you don't have to use those C-clamp, micro C-clamps. That was smart. And because I kept everything together, this thing would be a lot easier to put back. So I think I'm gonna bypass putting it back together. I'm gonna put it together, but I'm not gonna put it together on the video. I put that on wrong. I myself don't like a lot of vibration, so I go in and change that teeth thing by pulling it back slightly. But this one isn't mine, and I don't know if he's for all of that or not. All right, I'm gonna put some of these screws back in because we're gonna change that to a different color as well. I think I'm just gonna put 2 in real quick just to hold it down. All right, so there's a company in China, man, that really does a good job with Abu for some odd reason. Like, I don't know if they're partnered with them or what, but the company's called Amo. They usually have every single part to these reels to make it look really nice. All right, so what we're gonna have to do is take that and put it inside of there. There's a circle that this needs to fall into. So we're just gonna push all of that out with the tweezer. Tweezers are bent. Okay. Just keep your finger on it. And then you can take the tweezers themselves and spin it till it locks in the hole. You'll feel it. There it is. It's filling the hole. You're gonna want, this is the tension knob. Make sure that on there good. It's looking good already. I know he said he wanted to change this thing, but I couldn't find it. Where it would work. All right, I guess we can tighten that in. All right. That is tightened down. I'll tighten this in a split second. I'm gonna put his other screws back in. then we're going to put this little blue kit on. After we put now, I'm not going to tighten it all the way down just yet. Because that's what we want. We're going to tighten the drag all the way down tight. And then just want to check the tightness. You don't want to overdo it. Strip it. Use this little key to lock that in place. Then take that screw. Which is an Allen key head. Jeez. All right, I guess that's to make sure that you don't just put all of his parts in one little package. Last and final thing will be putting the bearings and the spool back together. I'm gonna see if I'm gonna keep that Teflon piece in there or not. I might, we'll see. Oh, y'all didn't see that. That thing is still spinning. Remember in the beginning of the video? Sheesh. All right. Let me check this one real quick before I clean it completely out with the air. Man, that thing is spinning. Alright, putting this bearing in. I don't know if I should hide it. I feel like I should hide it. We'll find out in a second. Or should I do it? Where you could see it. I kind of like where you could see it. Alright. putting this one, putting a little bearing spring back in. All right, that is back in. I'm gonna put this on the spool. Yeah. All right. Got that locked back into place. I feel like this needs to be a little bit more. All right, guys, here it is. Moment of truth. Well, he got this killed your knot, buddy, but it's gonna stick up. Oh yeah. 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 All right, let's go.